Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Janet.
Good morning, Dr. Abati.
We missed you in action yesterday.
I missed you guys too.
Yes.
Sometimes it just feels weird when I'm not around you all. Good morning, Ayo. How are you this morning?
So good.
Perfect.
Better for seeing you today.
Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning?
Morning, Roger.
Perfect. Well, all right. Good morning to you viewers. Let's begin what's trending. The governor of Rivers State, Fubara, has accused the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, of financial misappropriation in the handling of state projects, stating that most of the projects during his administration were not fully funded. The latest accusation follows the governor's pronouncement to set up a judicial panel of inquiry to investigate the management of the state's resources under past administrations. Fubara, during the inauguration of a road in Eleme Local Government Area of the state on Monday, revealed that his administration was left with huge debt owed to several contractors who handled different projects for Nyesom Wike.
If there's one problem this administration has, is debt. Most of the projects that are being commissioned, they are coming for their balance payment, and it's running in millions and billions. I've said I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk because I am part of that system. But when you keep pushing me to talk, I will say it so that they will see the nyash of the fowl. But let us leave that one until when we are ready. We will also be ready. The small one we are doing now, they are not sleeping. I wonder what will happen when we do the big one. I heard somebody saying when we came on board, we were fighting federal government. Federal government did not use any instrument in your state to frustrate you. Our scenarios are quite different. If we are fighting federal government, it's a different matter. We're talking about federal government that is giving us support, but the rat in the house that is eating the bag of garri. So you can imagine such situation. Huh? But we have already said the Otapia who has finished.
Rufai is cracking up plenty words. Otapia, yeah, and all of that. Well, but listen, I mean, this is not going to go away. I mean, the River State people are the people suffering at this point because, I mean, their state is on the front burner. But, Ayo, let me take this tweet before I come to you. This person wrote, breaking, Fubara just qualified Wike as a rat. Laughing out loud. Let's juxtapose who has upper hand here. Agreed. Wike helped this guy become a governor. What of Fubara, who was the accountant general and has financial secrets of Wike? I foresee Wike sending people to beg Fubara secretly. I mean, he seems like he has the upper hand because he was the accountant general and he has, you know, secrets. But I mean, we see that Wike now just appears to be a joke. That's how I see it.
He's even, he appears to be calmer now. The interview we had earlier on, and we had a senator supporting him come, and you could hear the tone. It was no longer, in terms of the streets, braggadocious. It was more solemn and telling him to remember that this man helped you. You know, how would you repay someone back like this? But you know, as we said before, when two elephants fight, the grass suffers, but also a lot of, in the words of the governor, yanshis are open. And we want to see that open in the interest of the people, not because of the drama, but just because if funds were truly misappropriated, funds that should have gone to the development of the state or to the people of the state, then we need to know about these things. And this has to be investigated. We're not saying Minister Wike is guilty or not guilty. That's not for us to determine. It's for the investigative authorities to determine, and after a proper probe has been done. So are we up for, am I in support of a probe? Absolutely yes. And anyone who has a question to answer, including the governor himself, let him remember that government being his position is not permanent. He will also leave office, and he will also be probed if he's misappropriated any funds or misused, you know, state funds. So I think this is a very important thing to note, but also very important. Can we do away with the drama? Can we listen to the projects that this governor is doing in River State and what the people of River State are enjoying as a result of his administration?
EFCC, over to you. You have a case on ground before now. the scenarios are different. In that scenario, one had immunity, the other one didn't have immunity. The scenarios have changed now. One has immunity, the one you were chasing that time has immunity, the other one doesn't have immunity. So EFCC, over to you. Just revisit that case again, 40-something billion, and everybody involved. Let's start with that probe first.
Absolutely. Let the investigations begin. Dr. Abati.
Okay, very briefly. I think you people should mind your language. I hear certain things being opened.
Like what?
That should not be opened on international television and respectable company. Well, the governor, he was speaking in his village. But in any case, the issue here is about transparency and accountability. He is the governor of Rivers State, and he says he's going to probe past administrations. Now, how past will remain to be seen. How far they will go in that probe. Is it from 1999 to date, or it will focus on only the Wike administration? If it focuses only on the Wike administration, then those who are alleging that perhaps the governor is out to witch hunt, they will have a legitimate ground to say, well, if you are probing everybody, then probe. That's number one. Number two, he himself was Accountant General, 2020 to 2022. He worked with Wike. Yes, he may know certain secrets, but as Accountant General, is he going to probe himself? Or is he going to come around and say it was Wike that was sending alerts and collecting alerts, and that he was a figurehead as Accountant General? Number three, of course, is the same point we make all the time, that look, they should spare a thought for the people of Rivers State who are asking for good governance, who are asking for peace and stability in Rivers State. All the gladiators must be guided by that. And then number five, I think Minister Wike should not hide under the fact that, this is political, and then say he's above the laws of Rivers State. If he's summoned by the judicial panel of inquiry, he should make himself available to say what he knows. After all, he's a very courageous, very bold man. So we will not want an ugly situation whereby a whole Minister Wike will be running away from a judicial panel of inquiry.
Right.
He has the right to defend himself, and he must be given every opportunity to defend the integrity of his administration.
Well said, guys. We'll take another story. The 3-day visit of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, to Nigeria continues to generate reactions globally. The royals were in Nigeria on the invitation of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, to promote Prince Harry's Invictus Games, which he founded in 2014 for the rehabilitation of wounded servicemen through sports and other activities. While many Nigerians welcomed the royals with open arms, the media in the United Kingdom barely reported their visit, owing to the crisis within the royal family, which prompted the Duke and Duchess to step down from official duties. On Tuesday, Christopher Wilson, a journalist on the British royal family, in a now-deleted tweet, compared Prince Harry and Meghan to the Duke of Windsor, Edward, who abdicated his throne in 1937 to marry an American divorcee, Wallis, and also compared Nigeria to Nazi Germany. Well, his tweet reads, "Desperate to show his wife they were still royal in the eyes of the world, the Duke of Windsor took Wallis on a tour of Germany in 1937. They were greeted ecstatically. Nigeria's human rights records is not far short of Nazi Germany's." I mean, you know that Nigerians have come for Christopher. I mean, there are a lot of untruths in his tweet. First of all, Prince Harry did not abdicate his throne. He stepped down from, official duties. He still has the title HRH at this moment. And obviously, we all know the story. I mean, a lot of historians know the story of the Duke of Windsor, who abdicated his throne to marry that American divorcee. And their visit to Germany was not a tour. We all know that, they were Nazi sympathizers. Yeah. But this was a horrible tweet. You know that Nigerians will take him on this. Let's take some tweets. This is from Daniel, who wrote, "Look like the powerful Nigerian government or kings or whoever ordered the monarchy to shut down their royal rat. Christopher Wilson's racist offensive comment about Nigeria. He compared Nigeria to Nazi. Now he realized he's in trouble and deleted his post. Well, Wilson said that he did not delete his tweet. Because of that, he wrote, "Not quite the truth. I deleted it because it had caused unanticipated offense." Another tweet from Oka wrote, "The British monarchy's genocide of my ancestors. But we are the Nazis. Nigerians won't forget this." They pulled up the Biafra genocide. I would call it that. That's what they wrote in that article. Then Dr. Shola also wrote. She wrote, "Spot the difference. So desperate to racially abuse and denigrate Meghan Markle. Nigeria, her country of ancestry, is compared to Nazi Germany, May 2024. And her son, Archie, compared to a chimpanzee, May 2019. When challenged, note the gaslighting words, unanticipated, never occurred to me. White people used to deny their racism. Case in point, vultures, Christopher Wilson and Danny Baker. White supremacy is a sickness." Then finally, Matt wrote, "The lack of self-awareness by the British media is just mind-blowing. These are the same people who mowed down market women who were protesting against heavy taxation in 1929, mowed women down in cold blood, and calling Nigerians Nazis."
Yeah.
It really is unbelievable. Yeah, you are right. Absolutely. That was the
about war. It was called.
Riot.
It wasn't a riot. No.
And all of that. I mean,
the word riot is another British propaganda. It was a war. The likes of the Wanye Wura and a couple of other women were killed, and a panel of inquiry was set up. And it showed how they just molested and killed those women because they were fighting for their rights in this country. These people are racist. That man that journalist that made that, Christopher, whatever he is the height of racism. He's just so jealous because Harry and Meghan came to Nigeria and they got relevance, and it's in your face. It's going to hurt you till the very end. I hope that this racism eats your bile up, and they continue to eat you up, because we can't continue this way. How would you relate them to what happened in Nazi Germany and the fact that they abdicated? At first, like you said rightly, the scenarios are different.
Very different.
Secondly, these people came for a worthy cause in Nigeria, which is the Invictus Game. To be able to support veterans. Harry has built a brand with this Invictus Game that goes around the world and has supported a lot of veterans, and that's something worth celebrating. But because of the hatred and the bile that you have against this guy, just let him be. I'm not saying everything Harry has done is perfect. There are some things I'll disagree with Harry and Meghan for. But on this, and you now call a particular population Nazis?
Yeah, because
what about your own Nazi states you have in that place called Britain? You know, with your monarchy that reigns supreme, that eats off the commonwealth of other people by doing nothing. What about your monarchy that took away all our resource in slave trade? You think we've forgotten Elephant and Castle? You think we've forgotten what you came to do here? That you took all our resource away and turned our tribes against each other to fight themselves? What about all the egregious things you've done for us in this continent? You've demeaned us. You say we are worthless. We're less than human beings. And you have the nerve and the unmitigated temerity to even go ahead and tweet this.
All right, a lot of points there, Ayo. There's also a picture back in 2019, another tweet. I mean, this was from Ben, who posted a picture of, I believe, Buhari at that time, when, at that time, it was Prince Charles and the Queen Consort, now Queen Camilla, visited. But they were not trolled. They weren't trolled.
The weekend exposed just how, number one, ignorant a number of British people are, because the kind of lies they spewed out in terms of facts was mind-boggling. You then ask, and don't they have history? Don't they have geography in their curriculum in school? They were saying things about Nigeria that was absolutely false, didn't have. And even when Nigerians tried to challenge it, they had the audacity to argue with us as to the facts about our nation. So it just exposed for me ignorance at a very deep level. You reminded me of that interview that Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie had in France, where she was like, oh, that question exposes your ignorance, where you ask certain things.
Yes.
The second thing it exposes how deeply racist, unfortunately, Britain still is. The only difference between the visit in 2018 and this, and the narrative of Nigeria as a nation, were the people involved. And the fact that there's just an inexplicable hatred or dislike for Meghan Markle. And very often, a number of people, beyond the whole controversy of the leaving of, deciding not to be working royals, is the fact that she has the audacity to be half black. And that is quite unfortunate. They had a brilliant visit to Nigeria. It was great to see them promote. I love the footage of Prince Harry playing sitting volleyball, just showing himself, yes, as one of the people. And I mean, for me, I just think that they should quit with it, and you cannot come for Nigeria. Nigeria gave it to them.
They gave it to them immediately. You know that they wouldn't. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, there are persons who are anti-monarchists. When the Queen died, we had some people protesting, complaining about the monarchy. We had, when Prince Charles' coronation was taking place and he became King Charles, there were people protesting about the monarchy. So you have these anti-monarchists. But within the English laws, the right to protest is guaranteed. There's something they call the Police, Riot Suppression Act. And then under Articles 10 and 11 of the European Court of Human Rights Law, you can protest. So you will find people who may not like people within the royalty who will do so. However, where this Christopher Wilson is coming from, whether he's an anti-monarchist or just a commentator, is wrong to compare Nigeria to Nazi Germany. Anybody will see that we are not Nazi Germany.
Absolutely not.
And Nigerians demonstrated this with the hospitality, with which they received the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex. It was a very colorful visit, a very meaningful visit, and I thought that the visit of the, Successes, in fact, further advertised the connection between Nigeria and Britain, and further positively projected the strong ties that both Britain and Nigeria, have together. So for anybody to now try to misinterpret that is shocking. Indeed, it's not just this Christopher Wilson. I pointed out during the week how one of the newspapers, I think, was it Daily Mail, said Arihu, and then added some snide remarks about Meghan Markle there, which I don't want to repeat. So again, you are right. There's some resentment for the one who will not be king. And this is American wife, who some people think a star doesn't fit into their own perception of British conservatism. But on the whole of it, it was a great visit. It was a good visit. And Nigerian people acquitted themselves honorably. It was great fun to see Meghan Markle dressed in Nigerian fashion attire, relating with Nigerians.
Absolutely. It was a beautiful, beautiful trip. The royals were welcome to Nigeria. I mean, the ties also that you didn't mention was our Nigerian princess now. She came in here as a British royal, and she left as a Nigerian princess, Meghan Markle. I mean, I met both of them. Let me just blow my horn. I met both of them at the polo match. Yes, I mean, I thought they were just gracious, really. Congratulations. It was great advertisement for Nigeria as a whole.
Where is that picture of Ojyokpe?
No, we'll find it later. Well, all right. Let's head over now to Delta State, where the state's task force on recovery of government lands on Monday began the demolition of illegal structures built on lands belonging to Denis Osadebe University in Asaba. The demolition exercise has been condemned by students living in the area and property owners who claim that government did not notify them before conducting the exercise. One of the property owners in this now viral video said he has spent over 100 million naira on a structure which he erected in November.
This is my house. I've spent over 100 million plus. Not even this land alone. Not even this place alone. I have lands here.
And now the government
just came to demolish it. This house is, I started this house November, look at this house. I did not stop. And fact of man, it never have one sympathy. Even call the government, you come and call the house of the people who own the house. Now, the few who are fighting for this, did they do something like this?
Right, I reached out to the Delta State government. Of course, you know that it's my state. I have to find out what's going on. But they said, But, they said that, these property owners built on government land and that Denis Osadebe University. But I thought it was important to highlight, especially this man's video, and also an actress who claimed that she was not notified. So that, that's the actress who claimed that she was not notified. She has lost a lot of her property and, this demolition exercise exercise they claim was illegal. So we need more responses from the Delta State government and the task force as well on this story. Well, all right, we'll take our final story. In Osun State, where dignitaries converged on Monday in Ede to celebrate with the governor of the state, Ademola Adeleke, who had the title of Asiwaju of Ede land conferred on him by the Timi of Ede, Oba Marudin Lawal, in recognition of his contribution to the development of Ede land. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo led dignitaries, including the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Oguwusi, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State, and the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, to grace the occasion. Adeleke dedicated the title to his late father, who until his death was the Balogun of Ede, and to his late brother, Senator Ishaka Adeleke, who was also the Asiwaju of Ede. Well, during the ceremony, Adeleke, in his usual fashion, serenaded the crowd, singing Oluwa mi mo dupe. Oluwa mi mo dupe. Oluwa mi mo. We have too much fun here. Well, I was at that occasion and it was such a beautiful ceremony. The governor there was telling the, Obasanjo and all the other governors to dance with him, which they did eventually.
To Governor Jackson.
Congratulations to you, Dr.
Osun State is now Asiwaju of Edeland. And he never disappoints.
Absolutely.
The dancing, singing governor, and that should not be surprising. Yes. He has a son who is a musician. He has a nephew who is also a musician. In fact, after being governor, I would not be surprised if Governor Jackson sets up his own Jackson and the orchestra.
Jackson 3.
Anyway, thank you very much.
It was also his birthday. Happy birthday to the governor as well. And it was a fantastic cause. They raised money for that beautiful palace. Well, all right. I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.